opening, we've approached, we're in conversation at this point. Let's talk about how we would go about closing or going for the pull. And the first key point of this is finding out the girl's situation, figuring out her logistics. What does she got going on? Okay, so essentially there's a couple questions that we need to know about this girl. Who is she there with? How did she get there? How far away does she live? And what has she got going on later that night or in the morning? So the first thing you need to do, figure out the girl's situation, what's known as finding out her logistics. Why is that important? Because most guys never fucking figure this shit out. At least I didn't. When I was trying to learn game, I was the guy that was like in the interaction, just vibing and building attraction the entire night, dancing with her, making out with her, staying in the club with her until 2 a.m. comes around, and then the lights turn on, and then her girl grabs her and is like, okay, Jess, we're going home now. And she's like, bye, nice to meet you, wait, bye. So let's talk about how we can actually go for the close. It starts out with figuring out the girl's situation, finding out her logistics, and then determining whether or not this girl can be pulled that night. Okay? The next thing, once you've figured out the logistics, we're still 5 to 10 minutes into the interaction. The next thing I need to do is start seeding the pull, meaning I'm planting the seed in her mind, planting the idea in her mind of us doing something outside of the venue after the club closes. We're gonna do something. I'm planting that idea in her mind. Okay? So how do I do that? I just throw a bunch of different topics at the girl to see what resonates with her. I haven't invited her to do any of these topics yet. I'm just throwing these ideas out there in conversation to get a feel for what is this girl into? What does she like to do? What is a possible activity that we both like to do that we could do after the venue closes or even before then?
Can we get chicken nuggets?
So a couple different topics that I like to throw at the girl while I'm trying to seed the pull could be the idea of smoking hookah, the idea of a glass of wine, listening to good music, rooftop balcony views, playing with a puppy, going to an after party with her friends, going to get food. All of these different ideas can be used as a means of pulling the girl. By pulling the girl on the idea of one of these topics, it gives her some plausible deniability as to why you guys are hanging out. She knows that she wants to keep seeing you, but she doesn't want to feel judged. She doesn't want to sound like she's a slut for hanging out with you. And if you say, hey, you want to go back to my place? It's pretty much conveying like, hey, do you want to go fuck? And that's not what you want to do with the girl.
You think she would come to an after party? Like down the street?
At this point, I would anticipate the girl giving you some kind of resistance. It's very rarely that the girl is just going to be like, after party? Yeah, let's go. Or smoke hookah? Yeah, let's go now. It's very rare that the girl says that. Every now and then she will, but oftentimes you're going to hear something like, oh, I don't know, I'm here with my friends. Or I'm down, but I can't just leave my girl. Or I don't know, we Ubered here, so like we don't really have a way to get there. Whatever the fuck the response is, be ready for the girl to give you some kind of an objection. Okay, that is an important part of understanding all this. By seeding the pull and by starting to go for the pull, you're forcing the girl to show her cards, which is good because you need to know what her objection is in order to solve the problem. That's something guys aren't understanding. If you're gonna pull this girl, you need to solve the problem and be the problem solver. If you can't solve the problem, guess what, bro? You don't fucking deserve that girl. Okay? If you're not man enough to figure out this girl's situation and solve the problem, you don't deserve her. Straight up. Anytime I've ever closed, there was a problem that needed to be solved in that moment. And I was man enough, smart enough, resourceful enough to figure out that problem. A couple key points. You need to figure out her situation. You need to figure out her logistics, okay? The next thing is you need to start seeding the pull. You're throwing topics at the girl to figure out what resonates with her, what is an activity you guys can do other than just hang out, other than have sex. You're figuring out something you guys can do together after the venue, okay? Figure out the logistics, seed the pull. The next thing is executing the pull. You're leading the pull. You're not leaving it up to the girl. It needs to be your fault. It needs to be your fucking fault, okay? You can't leave it up to the girl and be like, hey, so are you sure you want to come? I know you don't know anybody there, but like, are you sure you want to come? Because if you say that, bro, she's fucking gone. What needs to happen is you lead in a confident, fun, flirtatious way. It needs to be on you as the man, okay? Feminine energy is designed biologically to follow masculine energy. And what is masculine energy? Confident, dominant, leading, penetrative, like going out and fucking conquering. That's the man. If I'm in a tribe and I'm the man, I'm the alpha of the group, everybody's following me. I'm not asking the girl, hey, look, it looks a little dangerous up ahead. Like, you think we should go there? Because if it's on the girl, we're not going. But if it was on the dude and he was like, look, it's a little dangerous up here, but look, I got you guys. I got this, okay? We're going to be fine. Hold my hand. I got you. Follow me. You're under my protection. It's going to be okay. I got you. And it's reassuring. And she sees this dude is confident. This dude knows what the fuck he's doing. And I want to go with a guy like that. I want to go with the fucking king. So you need to show her that that's you. And if you can't do that, you don't fucking deserve her. So we got the logistics. We seeded the poll. We figured out the situation. We're executing the poll in a confident, playful, fun way that doesn't make the girl feel like a slut and it doesn't make her feel judged. So I want to give you guys an example that ties all of this together of a girl that I recently pulled. I met her out at a venue. We're in conversation, the vibe's going well, and at some point, once I felt enough attraction, I threw out the idea of, you should come to this after party and smoke hookah with us. I threw that out there. She was like, oh, I don't know, I'm here with my girl. I brought the friend back into our conversation, vibed with the friend, interacted with both of them, showing the friend that I'm cool and I'm not over escalating on this girl at the same time either. So I'm vibing with both of them. Then subtly throughout the conversation, I say to the friend, yo, you guys should come to the after party. We have an after party going on like right down the street. I don't know what you guys are doing after this, but you should come. Friend's like kind of about it. The girl I'm talking to is really about it. So it was already towards the end of the night. I led them up to the upstairs of the venue where the exit is. We leave the venue. They get in my car, my boys get in my car, and we drive back to my boy's house. That's how I pulled them from the venue. Now we're at my boy's after party. It's like 4 dudes and 2 girls in a basement, and we're chilling. And I still haven't even kissed this girl yet, by the way. But she's sitting very close to me. I could tell that there's a little resistance. She doesn't want to kiss me. Turns out later on that she was actually already talking to some dude, which is kind of why she didn't want to. Cool, whatever. We're vibing. She's sitting close to me, but she doesn't want to kiss me. I'm talking to her, and then at some point, her friend says, hey, Jess, the Uber's coming soon. And she tells the friend, oh, okay. And she sounds kind of disappointed. And while she says that, me and her kind of like make eye contact. And I could tell that she was a little disappointed about that. So because of that, I turned to her and I told her, I was like, don't get in the Uber. I was like, yo, come smoke some hookah with me and I'll take you home later. I'm good to drive. I'll make sure you're okay. She looks back at me and is like, I don't know, because like I can't just let my girl leave here alone. That's what she was telling me. She doesn't want her girl to leave alone. But essentially what she's saying is, I don't want to feel judged when that moment comes where the Uber pulls up and I have to tell my friend, hey, get home safe. I'm staying with Kyle, even though I just met him. And she doesn't want everybody to see that she's abandoning her friend to stay with me, because then it makes her look like a slut. So in that moment, I waited, I chilled, I vibed. The Uber was almost there. And then I turned to her and I said, yo, when the Uber pulls up, why don't you walk your girl up and, make sure she gets in the Uber, okay? And just wait up there for me, and then I'll take us home. So that's what I told her, because it allows her to leave the party looking like she's leaving with her girl. She makes sure her girl gets into the Uber safely, and then I give it a minute, and then I go upstairs, and then we leave together without anybody knowing anything. You see the brilliance in that? So she says, okay, the Uber gets there. I pretend to say goodbye to her. She says goodbye to everybody. The girls leave. They go upstairs. I give it a minute. I say goodbye to my boys. I told them all what the fuck happened. I was like, guys, if I don't come back down, that means she was upstairs. Have a good night. I go up there. She's still waiting there. We then get into my car. And now that we're alone, we start making out. Drive home, get to my house, vibe, smoke the hookah, escalate, good things followed. Long story short, we were up until like literally 10 in the morning. And she didn't go home. I didn't drive her home, by the way, guys. She spent the night, and then we slept in, and then later on the next day, I dropped her off to her car, okay? Because I handled everything. It was all my fault. I assumed the responsibility. I led confidently. I didn't make her feel like a slut, and I didn't make her feel judged at any point in the interaction. And when you can do all of those things smoothly, it shows to the girl like, look, I'm the alpha. I got it. Whatever your problem is, I got it covered. It's not a problem. I'm not going to get emotional and logical and stress out about your problems. I'm going to handle that shit smooth like a fucking boss.